All right, just waiting to go live. Hello, everybody. See, we got 8 viewers, 11 viewers. Yay. Well, I appreciate you guys showing up. I know one of my friends pointed out that this is right when the Walking Dead is on. So I appreciate you guys stopping by. If you got comments, please put them here in the group chat, especially questions. Be more than happy to answer those. Comments, you know, constructive criticism, and your website sucks is always good. It gives me something to do on Monday morning. That's definitely for sure. Just gonna wait till we get some more people here, and before we really get going into the good stuff. But I hope you guys had a good weekend. If you can, while we're just waiting for people to get in here, in the bottom of the group chat, in the chat area there, if you want to post in what you flew this weekend or what you're flying, that'd be a good little interesting thing to see. I'm always curious what people are flying now and what's going on. Let's see here. All right. All right, I'm seeing this chat works here. Let's see. I don't know if I'm in the right spot, so just there we go. Oh, there we go.
This last year has been fun.
That's me.
Really fun.
Okay, I don't know why. There we go. Oh, there. I was in the wrong chat. Awesome, guys. Hey, thanks for joining in. Got some good people here. We got Jay Hubby, one of our team pilots. He just competed up in the AMA indoor event up there. Got Phil Hinkle from ProAdrenaline, which is a image stabilization software. Really cool guy. He came down from Wisconsin to come fly with us, North Carolina. All right, V2 arms for the session update. Yeah, that's coming. Diatron Crusader 2. Yep, that's coming. Let's see. Yeah, the Tiny Whoop is so popular. Arm and bottom plate, man. Crashing's crashing. Now that Chameleon, that's got some suspicions on that. I'm not gonna say anything online. I don't want to. But that is a really interesting ship. I like the aluminum cage. Obviously, the hobby is trending that way. I would definitely. I mean, here's our the Dquad Obsession, and you can see I'm not gonna say similarities, but you know, you've got your aluminum roll cage, and I definitely think this is the wave of the future for quads. They're light, and it's going to get fine-tuned, and then this will be really good. Yeah, metal gates. That's crazy. Who wants to fly metal gates? I know Iceberg FPV was up flying in Carolina. Well, I think Carolina FPV had a race, and they had some issues with that. Poster in front of your desk. Is that my? Oh, the one up top. Yeah, this was one of my first OEM batteries, the Bad Dog battery, and that little Chihuahua. Beware of the dog. I had a really good graphic design guy do my work. This was back when we went to. These came out at I believe the EFEST show. Oh, that would have to be. Or maybe I can. There we go. Beware of dog. Years ago, man, maybe 8-9 years ago. There was that brand I only had 2 batteries in that lineup. It was a 460 3-cell and a 620 2-cell, I believe. It was for the indoor foamies. I don't know if you quad guys know what that is, but that was a foam airplane. I actually have one buried down here at kit still from those good old days, the dual sky stuff, the 32-inch foamies. That's what everybody used to fly, and we had a line of batteries back then, and that was, I believe, a 12C battery. Speaking of just some time here, a couple more minutes and I'll start. I was cleaning my desk for the show, and I found one of the first batteries I ever sold. Let me get my camera up here and I make sure I get a good shot of this in here. This was kind of pretty much what started my business over 12 years ago, 13 years ago. Boom. There's my Dual Sky X Power. Now this bad boy rated at 12C. Yeah, that's a 1300 milliamp 12C battery. But wait, burst to 20. That's really shows you guys how much his hobby's grown. And a good comparison, where's my, all right, so this is a 1500 and this was an old 1300. You can see how as we increased our C rating, it's definitely increased the weight of the battery. So that does make a difference. But Crusader 130, oh wow. Nice one, Toy Man B. Oh, great. 4 boards. All right, we're going to come to that. Well, it's about, I'm going to wait 2 more minutes. I'm going to wait to 10 after. And then we're going to start off with some of the hot topics everybody wants to know, the product updates of our current lineup. And what the updates for the Obsession, the updates on the GT2 Crusaders. I know everybody's wishing they can get one of those. I wish I could sell you guys more of those too. So we'll do that. Freybot. He had the Jay Hubby was hanging with the Gem fanboys there. Freybot and Pisha. Both of those guys have props named after them. Not my favorite props, but they're pretty. Let's see here. Let's see if I got Pisha props. Yeah, I still got some. Here's the Pisha props. They're chrome. And then the Freybot ones, I believe, are the Gem Fan Master Series blue props are his. No, I'm not, Carbro, not going to do wings. For one, I'm not a big wing fan, so I'm going to leave that to like the right wing. I know those guys do some really good stuff. And so, yeah, just not going to get into wings. I don't think it's something I want to do. I want to focus on some other things in the quad world, but it's coming. I know Western Carolina flies a lot of wings up there, and we got Shelby up in Raleigh flying rings, all close to us. But we did go out and scout a new flying field today, and it's the motocross place up in Sanford, North Carolina, and it'll be an excellent place for wing racing. So we might have an event there for wing racing, just because it's got some really cool terrain that you guys would really have some fun flying in, and there's a lake. So yeah, Gem Fan props. Hey Jay Hubby, thanks man. I'm going to mention that as well. But it's 10 after. I'm going to start, and then we can come back and do this. Keep posting your questions here in the chat. But the first thing off is the update on the Obsession. What is an Obsession? Well, this is the Obsession. It's from Dquad from the Netherlands. It's a 230 millimeters frame, and we asked for a stretched X. So the distance here is shorter than the distance here. For example, here's my QQ190. This is an X. You can really see, get a good king. There you go. The difference there. There's an X and there's a stretched X. So one of the issues, this is version 1.1. Now this guy Davis has been doing some really good work on this. You've got a 70-75 milled aluminum roll cage here, which you now see in the Chameleon, the Gorilla. They made a version with a cage, but it's really heavy. This one's a lot lighter, and it's got 2 millimeter bottom plate and a top plate, and then I believe these are 3 millimeter arms. So this is 1.1 arms. And what happened is we ordered this right before the Chinese New Year, and this Chinese New Year is a mess for everybody. So when they put the order in, we couldn't get them in time. So after the Chinese New Year came back, they already cut these arms and shipped them, and we would have to wait another month before we got the V1.2. But they work good. I've crashed a couple times. I haven't broken anything. But the new arms are going to be thicker down here and this is modified a little bit. And so what Davis did, because Davis is a really good guy and he really believes in this frame, everybody that bought an Obsession stretch from us is getting the V2 arms for free. So we know how, you know, it's important to, you know, product support and everything, and he does too. So everybody that bought one of these frames, I think we got a couple left, 3 or 4 left, is getting the V2 arms, a full set of arms for free. So basically you're getting 4 free arms. And you know, that's coming out of his pocket, which is pretty good. Now the ship's not cheap. It's $100, but you really get some good quality stuff. This milled aluminum, one of my team pilots works with aluminum and milling, and he said this was done like top notch. Carbon side plate, everything's protected. There, you can't really, I mean, it's gonna be hard to break stuff internally, which is what this was made to do. This cage is made to protect everything that cost you a lot of money, and the arms were meant to break in case something breaks. It's a lot cheaper to fix a $7 arm than a $40 speed controller. So when are the new arms coming? Well, supposedly this week he's getting the V2 arms from the factory. He's going to do a quality check on them, and hopefully by the end of next week we'll have the V2 arms in stock. We also will then have the V2 middle board that sandwiches the arms in stock too, which is a little bit thicker, which you're probably going to need some different nylon bolts here to hold that in. But it's a really nice frame. I flew it today. I got 12 batteries on this one. So put some flashbangs from Diatone back here. These are really bright. If you've seen these guys before. Yeah, see that's in the daytime. These are the 901s. They come in different colors. We got them on the website. And then we also have the TPU mounts for the Obsession. And we got a little logo. You can I hide a little marker. And I'm actually running, I tried the monster camera. Everybody's talking, hey, FPV Unbox, about the monster camera. And, oh, you got to try it. So I did. I was talking to Ollie, who flies from South Carolina, and he's like, you got to try it. So I did, and I won't go back. I run SkyZone VO2 goggles, which are 16.9. And with the monster camera, which is a CMOS 1200 TVL camera, there's a lot more detail. Now, the light transitioning isn't as good as an HS1177, but the detail overall is twice as good. It is really a lot better. And Ollie told me one little trick is you put a little 3M tape when you open up the back of the case and put it between the back plate and the board just to isolate it, because sometimes you can get some vibration. And I haven't got any vibration on this, and I've been tuning. As you can see, I've been flying these props hard. That's all dirt. Another question people ask me, what props are you flying? I really like these the Cyclones. I'm running 5045s or 5046s. I think both are good. I'm pulling about 90 something amps at full throttle. With these are the DYS 2205 2300 race edition. Very similar specs to the red bottoms. I had 2 QQ190s, but I broke my other one because I like to have identical ships. So these are the other red bottoms. This setup was from the ship, but this one's running the 5045s as well. I really like them. They take a lot of abuse and they keep going. So again, update on the arms, about 2 weeks they'll be in, and then we'll get them out to everybody who bought one for free. So that's the Obsession kit. It's up on our website. If you want to see it, it's under, well, here, let me make it easy because links are easy. We got it listed. I have it listed under the 210 quad section, but 210 to 225, but really it's a 235 quad. I have to update that, and it doesn't come with a PDB. They also make a smaller X that does come with the PDB, and we will be stocking that as well in the future. So we get back here. Let's see here. There we go. That's the link. Oh, Roger built one. Yeah, I like it. And for my build, I did a Omnibus F4 board, and then just a stock. This is really cheap PDB, and a TBS Unify, and a X4R receiver. I tried to put an XM Plus in, but I broke it when I installed it, and that didn't work. If I did this again, I would try and do a all-in-one board. So like the Betaflight F3 or we're coming out with a new Fury board, and that way you just be one layer just to clean it up a little bit on that. But other than that, I think it was a good build. A little stubby antenna there in the back, and I think that's going to work good because the camera's protecting the antenna. I got good range on this so far. We did some testing with 25 milliwatts and had no problems today on doing that. Let's see here. So again, 2 weeks, and we'll get the arms up on that. So I mentioned something on there that I was using the Omnibus F4. And why did I pick that one? Well, I think F4 boards are good. I mean, they're all good. I haven't tried race flight yet, too. Last live video, you know why. So the Omnibus F4, here we go. Let me get one out here. They've got 2 different versions. Here you go. This is the Omnibus F4. It's a nice F4 board. It's everything. It's got the Betaflight OSD and SD card, which is what I really like because I log every flight just for troubleshooting. F4 board. Pretty easy to solder up. There's a couple little tricks. I did make a video on how to do this to make it a little bit easier. But the reason I picked this board is because when you pair this, or any F4, any board that's got a built-in Betaflight OSD, that's really important. You pair that with a TBS Unify. I'm using the Unify Pro Race Edition, which goes up to 200 milliwatts. And you plug the audio wire into a UART port. Now on your screen, you can change your video frequency. And that's just, it's so easy. There's no dip switches. And you can see here, I've got my video transmitter buried at the bottom of my stack. There's no way that I could possibly see any kind of dip switch or frequency thing. So all I do is I power up my ship. You take your sticks on your controller, go left, up, and the screen pops up kind of like the MWSD does. And now you can go down and you find video transmitter. You can change any channel you want, the power output you want, and hit save. Boom, you just switch channels. The good thing they did is you can't turn it off via those stick commands, which is really good because if you weren't thinking about, oh, I'm just turn it off, well, you just buried your video transmitter at the bottom of your ship. You can't get it back on. So that's a really cool feature of that Betaflight OSD along with the TBS Unify. And if I was building another ship, I would not buy any other flight controller than one that has a Betaflight OSD, because that smart audio is so easy and so nice to use. And the funny thing is, TBS invented the code for that. It's kind of open source, and this was in the Vortex, like the first Vortex that came out. And those guys have had this ability, and it's kind of been like the best kept secret. But Boris and those guys got it into here, and it's real nice. So as are those 2 things. Now, the Crusader update and TyrantS update. There's my TyrantS, my tank. Diatone was tweaking on the flight controller. The new flight controller is done and being produced, but they had some power fluctuation issues on the previous version, the D-Link V3. The new one, they've removed the 3.3 volt regulator and added another diode. And this has cut out any of the powering issues that people have been having. So they had to put those back in production. And we should have a shipment coming in about the first week of April. The cool part is we are going to the Toledo Week Signal Show the first weekend in April, April 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, I believe, up in Toledo, Ohio, one of the biggest consumer RC shows of the year. And we'll have these there. We talked Diatone, it'll actually be at the Diatone booth. We're working the Diatone booth right next to our 2dogrc booth, and you can come see us there, and we'll have the kits there. With the new boards, we'll have the Crusaders. We didn't get any 175s in. We only ordered the GT200s and the 150s. I like the 175. I think it's good, but the 200 is perfect. It's a 5-inch prop. You know, the running 4-inch props. I don't know. I just think it's better to just carry the big one and the little one, kind of like the porridge. And we'll have the TyrantS's. Oh wait, sorry, this isn't my TyrantS. This is my Emacs. they're very similar. Both tanks. TyrnatS right here, Emax 200 here. Now this frame, I know a lot of people are saying, you know, on the Obsession thread, they're complaining about the arms breaking. But if you look at the difference in weight between these two ships, these arms aren't going to break. I don't think anybody's ever broken a TyrnatS arm. But this thing weighs a lot more. On my scale here, okay, and they both have session mounts on them and everything ready to fly. The TyrnatS weighs 407, and the Obsession is 390. So that's 10 grams extra in weight. So it does make a difference. Oh, good. Yeah, come to the show, man. We'll be at the booth, and you know, the Toledo show, we always have show specials. One of the things that we always do at the Toledo show is a clearance, man. Right now we're boxing up stuff. We've got Emax motors, propellers, older stuff that we just don't sell anymore. It's just kind of out of fad or whatever, and that stuff will all be in clearance. There's motors for like $3 or $4, props for $1. We'll have a whole bargain table. Then we'll have, you know, the new stuff. So again, if you're just tuning in, we got the Tyrant series coming the first week of April. Maybe just say that, and then the arms coming about 2 weeks. So it should be shipping next week to us from the Netherlands, and they should get here pretty quick. Now I see we got J Hobby on here. We got some other out of the Hawaii drone racing guys. Oh, review after our feed, huh? That'll be interesting to see Hawaii drone racing. I know I've got a big fan group out there. Some Hawaiian guys. They've been flying the Crusader GT2 200s, and I think a couple of the guys have the 130 or the 150. I can't remember exactly which one, but it's a whole group of them out there, and I'm jealous, man. Some of the trees these guys get to fly around are just perfect FPV trees, with the trunk comes up and then these branches that make perfect gaps to fly through. But since we do have some of you race guys, one of the things I mentioned is, let me get my iPad up here because I saved it. Some of the tips for, let's say you want to be new into racing. You just got a GT200, or you got a Obsession or a TyrantS, and you want to start, you know, you can freestyle pretty good, and you want to try some racing. So I asked one of my team pilots, Iceberg FPV goes by, some tips for somebody new that's getting into to start racing. Like what you look for. Oh, RC, I'll have to get back to you on that one. I didn't know about that. So Iceberg FPV, he suggested, first thing is finding a tank quad. Find something that's going to survive a lot of crashes. So like Emax 200, the TyrantS, this would be a good one. The Armaton's the Chameleon's a tank. I want to recommend something like this. It's going to break the lighter stretch X's, and the X frames are more fragile. But find something that's going to survive a crash, so you spend more time flying, less time fixing. You know, all you got to do is change the prop. The other thing that happens if you're getting pretty good and you want to come into racing is your rates are too high. If you're flying around freestyle, you kind of want that fast rate to get the tricks look cool and everything. But when you're racing, if you have high rates, you're going to tend to overshoot more. And remember, now you got adrenaline and a race environment, so it's a little bit different than going out in the backyard and just, you know, doing some freestyle stuff. No pressure. You know, that guy isn't right behind you that you keep passing, and you're trying to hit the gate, and it helps to turn down your rates. Some people I run about 500 to 600 degrees per second in beta flight. It tells you on the side, and that seems pretty good for me for racing. But you know, try it out, try different rates, see what you like better. You'll find that you're more accurate, I bet, with the lower rates. And also, Iceberg mentions that when you have lower rates, you'll be making fewer corrections before you hit a gate. So if you just 1 or 2 corrections instead of overcorrecting, overcorrecting, and go through, and then you start working on your speed. So work on your accuracy, then work on your speed. And the last thing is, well, he's got 3 more. fly figure eights, turning left and right over and over, and that's a great way to just start practicing. And the last one, he says, well, this is kind of a funny one. Listening to Josh Bardwell too much and trying to find that perfect tune. The perfect tune is really good for guys that are trying to make awesome videos because they want that smooth butter look in the video, and that's great. But for racing, you don't need to have the perfect fine-tuned quad. You can fly a pretty good tuned quad and still do well. It's better to get more stick time in than more time looking at graphs and your logs, and go fly all day and go, it seemed a little sloppy to me. Pull a couple logs off and take a look at them and see them. Master RC student, nice to see you. Glad you could join us for the live feed, man. If you guys got any questions, post it down in the comments. So again, if you're just getting into racing, pick a tank quad that's going to survive stuff. Lower your rates and figure eights, and don't spend too much time tuning. Betaflight's pretty good out of the box. Maybe tweak a little bit, go fly a couple gates, and maybe come back, try it again. But don't try to get that all perfect tune, because you need to really feel how your quad's flying before you know how to fix it. That leads me into the next segment. Oh, no way, a TyrnatS frame break, like the arm, Sawyer? You saying you broke one of these arms right here? Down here? That's interesting. I broke in the back plate here. I crushed that, so now I just have my antenna on an SB wire coming out, and really my antenna is just sandwiched in there. But so the next thing I was going to talk about was some tools that I think every FPV pilot should have, or quad modeler, or whatever you want to say. Okay, not all these are like rocket science. I love these. So bent nose pliers. This is really good for putting wires on flight controllers. And this is one of my favorite tools. This one I got, I don't remember, RC Timer or Banggood. It's a motor gripper with silicone. So you take your quad. I use a drill, but you just put this right in the motor and hold your motors, and you can get the props off. And these cyclones are very sharp. And I have a little drill, and this helps hold the motor. Yeah, so those two, and a good soldering iron. Now we just got these in. I saw these on Banggood, and one of my friends recommended them. Actually, his name is Dropping a Deuce FPV. You should look him up. He's a good Raleigh pilot up there, and he's even got a nice hat with his logo on it. It's great. But this is a little digital soldering iron. It doesn't come with a power supply. They're like 50 bucks. We got them on the website now. And I love this. I just got this in and tested it. Let me get my plug in here. Wow. We're experiencing some technical difficulties. Oh. There we go. Okay. So plug that in. And my lights went out. There we go. All right, so we plug this in. Okay, okay, so watch this. We're gonna push this button, and we're going up to 300 degrees. I don't know if you guys started a timer. It takes about under 20 seconds, and I'll be up to 300 degrees. So, and it's just portable. You can take this and take it with you in the field. The cool thing is you can buy these little plugs just at like a hobby store. It's the same as the Futaba plug, and make your own connector to an XT60, plug in your battery and in the field, and there you go, 300 degrees. So you can take this out in the field with you, and you can solder up a motor or whatever you need. Then when you're done, push the two buttons, or actually to change temperature, you hold down the button, and then you can change its temperature. And then when it's done, you push two together, and it goes into standby mode. So I think for every FPV pilot, you need these. Soldering iron, motor gripper, and pliers, and you need your multimeter. There's no reason anybody should build a kit and not have a multimeter. You need this to check your continuity, go down to ohms, test, If it goes, see if those touch, you get a 0. So that means if you have a positive and negative wire crossing or cross solder or something and it says 0, boom, you've got a short, do not plug in. So there's no reason you shouldn't spend $3 and buy a multimeter. All right. What we got here? Let me see here. What we got? Some video. Oh, someone mentioned the motor gripper. I believe I got it on RC Timer. I think Banggood's got them. It's a silicon. It's made by REACC. I'll put a link in the description below when we're done. Hello from Texas. Let's see. Oh, Velocidrone. Someone mentioned Velocidrone. And no, I don't warranty the soldering iron, sorry. Velocidrone is a great RC simulator. We've been playing, the guys and I, we kind of play at night sometimes. You can get a group online play. You can get a course. They've got a lot of the courses that have been run already, like the multi-GP courses. I like the Swiss National Race. That's one of my favorite courses to fly. It was really nice. But that Velocidrone is a really good one, and it's easy to use. Phil, yes, that's another good thing. I actually broke my smoke stopper, and so I didn't have it with me. I busted the light. A smoke stopper is also very important. You should have both, and here's why. The multimeter is great for connecting things, checking, make sure your build's clean, there's no shorts. The smoke stopper is great when you're updating firmware, when you're using BL Heli Suite, and you've got the battery plugged into your ship, and you're programming the computer, because if something were to happen, it's going to trip, and the quad's not going to fly off in your garage and kill you or something. So having both is a really good thing to have. I forgot that one. That's a good one. All right. Let's see. We did Obsession. Oh, okay. One of the other things, people always ask a couple things to me. What's my go-to ship? And that's always the one that's flying right now. It really depends, yeah, on what I've got. Like this is brand new, so I'm flying this one a lot. But I've got a bad speed controller. I had a desync today. I just got to figure out which one it is because we're going flying tomorrow. But I like that. My Emax, this guy, these are red bottoms. This has got my Theory F3 board in it, and it's got little B 20 amp speed controllers. Remember those F330s? This thing is a tank. I can't break it, and it just always flies good. So this is kind of my go-to, but it's really heavy, and it flies heavy. Whereas my little X's, my QQs were my race ship, but I just recently broke one. I had a bad crash and I broke the arm right at the base, right where you would think an arm would break, right there. So this is a unibody, so that means I have to replace the whole frame, and I really don't feel like doing that. So I'm going to switch to this Obsession. Okay, let's see. The other thing I was going to talk to you guys about was transmitters. We got in these new, I know I'm trying to do this because a lot of guys can't go out and see things on the field with their buddies, what they have. We're pretty lucky here in North Carolina. We fly with up in Raleigh, we fly down here in Fayetteville. We fly with a lot of people who have a lot of different gear, so we can try out goggles, we can try out transmitters and stuff like that. So this is, we just got this in. This is the Turnigy Evolution, made by the one and only Hobby King. And it's tiny. We sell for like $100. It's about this 130, I think. They're hard to get because they sell fast. So it's tiny. I mean, it's like an Xbox controller. Your hands are real close together. It's 8 channels. You've got 2 switches in the back. Those are 1, 2, 3 three-way switches. And it's got a nice little grip on the side. Power button here. Let me power this one up. There we go. Okay, it doesn't. There we go. So it's got little lights on the gimbals. That's kind of cool. Very, very basic. And it comes with one receiver, S-Bus, so it'll work with everything. But the thing is, what does this compare to a TyrnatS or TBS Tango or a Spectrum? And I don't know where my Spectrum is, so we're going to skip that one. But here's my TyrnatS. Just got some new gimbal holders thanks to Creative Dex. He printed those for me. Great guy out of California. All right. So here you can kind of see. I'm not going to put it like this so you can see how far apart the gimbals are. Let's see. Let's get a good view. So it's about another inch wider on the TyrnatS. The TyrnatS is also a lot heavier. If you look here. The scale doesn't want to work, but the TyrnatS is much heavier than this. This is like really tiny. On a Tango, got a nice cover for that from him too. It's I mean, the whole controller fits inside the gimbals on a Tango. You kind of see it right there. So much wider, much closer together. It really is like playing Xbox. And the cool thing is this comes with a USB. This is how you charge it with the USB connector. So that also means you can hook it up to fly your favorite sim, i.e. Velocidrone, the DR1, what's the other one, FPV, Freerider, and they plug right in. So you know it's nice. The gimbals are okay compared to my M9 gimbals and my TyrnatS. They're okay. I mean, it's a cheap little radio. But it's a great little pocket radio that you could take with you to the field, maybe in your backup quad or something. Just you never know when something bad's going to happen. Or you try to do the antenna mod and end up poorly. Whoa. Can you get a link for the gimbal colors? Yeah. Let's see. Well, I just, what I did, I can get some of those more in. What I did is I just saw the gimbal holders on, this is the two-piece one that slides over and locks. It was on Thingiverse, and then I sent the link over to creativedex.com, and he printed them up. And the reason I said, there's a lot of guys that print. I mean, everybody's got a 3D printer, but this guy's prints all my stuff very good. I've got this is a TPU. I've got TPUs printed stuff from other companies, and it's garbage. I mean, it's fraying and falling apart. And he did the mounts. Here's the mount that's on the Obsession, and he does just a great job with this. And I've got another mount. I don't remember where I put it for my QQ190. I'll show you the one that's on there. This is from another company. I don't know if you can see that, but it's like falling apart already. Yeah, the strings lines. I don't know, but it's definitely a lot poorer quality than the stuff that he does. He doesn't charge an arm and a leg. It's good stuff, and he never sends me garbage. So I like that. He checks it, makes sure it works, makes sure everything's good, and then he sends them out. So I'm real happy with his products there. Let's see. All right, has anybody got any questions about some of our products, the Tyrant, the Omnibus F4? We've got two versions of the Omnibus F4, the standard and the Pro. The difference is the Pro has a current sensor on it. So I've got one somewhere here. But back here, I believe it's on this side. I think it's here. It's got a current sensor. So what you do is you go the positive from your battery to the current sensor, out from the current sensor, and back down to positive on the power distribution board, and that's going to give you actual current reading. However, it's only good at 60 amps. So I don't know. That's good for like cruising around flying. I mean, most of the time we're hitting 20 to 30 amps total when you're cruising, unless you're Friday. Then I see him doing like 120. But you know, that's the thing. It's a little different setup too, but I really like these omnibuses. I love having an SD card because like today I have that desync. Now I can go back, look at my logs and go, oh yeah, it's motor number 4, pull up the speed controller and I'm done. Now I've got a question here from East Tennessee Scott about the Baby Hawk. What do I think and what are her thoughts on getting in a resale? It's a great question. I think EMAC said end of March you're going to be coming in. I've heard reports that there's white ones and red ones. I know we're getting white ones. I didn't see the red ones yet. So hopefully we'll get those in. It looks really nice. It's, I believe, an F3 board with 80mm motors, or 80mm across with 11 4 motors. I can't wait to get one too. I tried to build an Armaton bumper. This was fun, but I don't know. I got a bad lux. I got one of those micro luxes that it was a bad receiver, so I had to work through that. I finally got it going, and I ordered this camera, the eShine 4-in-1 DVR camera. Yeah, don't order that. It's a really cool idea. I was thinking, great, I can DVR off of that little Armaton and FPV at the same time, all in one. However, there's so much lag, it'd be impossible. It was really bad. So this is going on the chopping block. If anybody wants one of these, give me a call. Shoot me an email, sales@2dogrc.com. But you can't FPV from it. It's horrible. It'd be good to put, I don't really know, maybe on a car. I don't know, not something primary. But yeah, the Baby Hawk should be about this big, already fly. I think they're $100. You just got to add your receiver, which is a really good deal considering Horizon came out with their little version of it, of a micro brushless FPV ship for $200. It's like, wow. Jeff, right now we do not have the omnibus cables with them, but we're working on getting them with their next order. We ordered some 4-in-1 speed controllers, as well, the 4-in-1 30 amp D-Shock capable boards, so that, which would be really perfect in a build like this. So you would put your 4-in-1 speed controllers, which is also your power distribution board, and then you would put your flight controller omnibus on top with the wire. So it's a one cable that you would just connect from the omnibus to the to the speed controllers, and then you put your video transmitter on there, and you're done. And your arms would be nice and pretty because there wouldn't be anything out here, just 3 wires. But those are coming in. Hopefully those are shipping this week to us. So I hope to get those in. One thing on the Baby Hawk, I don't have spare props ordered. I think they take the stock like the Rotor X 30-20 or 20-35s, but they didn't have them available. Oh, there you go. I got one sold already. Made it worth my day. So someone asked about the GT200s again. Michael Fox, there you go. We're going to get those in at the end of the month. Probably beginning of April is going to be more realistic when we're going to get them in, and we'll have them up at the Toledo show. And then hopefully soon, we're working on a new flight controller with diatone on that. So hopefully that will be out by the next batch, which will be the end of April. We hope to have the new flight controller in there, and I don't know if they made any other adjustments on that one. I think the next batch of the Tyrant S's will have a different camera, but I'm not sure on that. It kind of depends, you know. Those Crusaders are sold out worldwide. Diatone doesn't have any. There's none left. They did the production run, and then we're hoping to have this flight controller ready, but it wasn't ready. So they mounted the D-Link V3 and then going. The new flight controller here, I'll send you a little link here on that one. Like I said, the 2 versions. I don't know. I don't really know the other difference, why the Pro is better than the not Pro, but they're $35. Right here. There you go. That's for the omnibus. I like it. It wasn't hard to set up. There's one little trick. There's a pin called the RAM pin. It's back here. I've got a video on this too, how to set it up. The RAM pin is down here. And what you got to do is the RAM, you can power this kind of weirdly. So these pins up here power your VTX and your camera. So I'm running the Unify, which is supposed to be able to run off just battery voltage with its own inline filter. So you actually short the RAM to your VBAT, which comes in up here. So that powers these pins with battery voltage. Or you can do RAM to 5 volts, use the onboard 5-volt regulator, and then these come out at 5 volts. I'm also running the Monster, which can run at up to 26 volts, and it's running right off of VBAT, and I haven't had any issues with it. So that's kind of interesting. So basically on this board, what you do is you connect your power distribution board, your battery voltage right to the VBAT. That powers your receiver, okay? Right over here. It's the 1.5 amp BEC, I believe. Now, to get power up to the camera and your VTX pins up here, that's where that RAM pin is important. You short it across the 5V or the VBAT, and that's what these pins are going to be. So I've got a video on that as well, how to wire everything up, also where to put your smart audio. It goes into 3. Also on this board, another thing to note, this little connector right here, that's your Spectrum. So if you have a Spectrum satellite receiver, you can just plug it right in, and that's a UART1. Yes, UART1 is the Spectrum receiver right here. If you're running, you know, a Free Sky system or whatever, it goes over here, and that's UART6. So that's something to look for there. I was going to mention something else about, like, if you're kind of newer to the FPV hobby. I think Phil's, well, basically just go. It's going to cost money. You are going to crash, and you are going to need a solder. I think there's a lot of people out there that kind of expect it to be like a toy where you just go and go fly, and it's not that. You're going to have to solder sometime. It's going to break. Phil, you're familiar with some good breaks, but you can, you just got to be able to go in that. And then for all the other guys that are good in the hobby and have been in it, it's really nice that most people are giving back as well. You go out to the field and there's a guy who needs some help, and it's really cool to see the guys going over there and helping them, trying to get it figured out, doing a quick tune on them. It's really hard though when guys come out to the field with some of these older ships that run open pilot, and you're like, wow, I don't even know where to start on this. And it's kind of funny because that used to be all that is there. Okay, there's 2 more good questions. The firmware is Betaflight. On the flight controllers, it's stock Betaflight. And the reason is because, I don't know if this is true next, I haven't looked, but this runs the Betaflight OSD. So I don't think that works in CleanFlight. And the Betaflight OSD is worth every penny. You can change your PIDs. Just kind of like how you used to do in the minimum OSD, but you don't have to wire anything. So you can go in there in your menu, and you can go down to PIDs. You can change your PIDs, change your PID profile. You can change your rate profile, change your rates, change your super rates. You can change your VTX if you're using smart audio, which is not only the TVS Unify, but also the Immersion Tramp. Both of those you can tune off the transmitter. Oh, thanks, RC Nova. So that's why it's Betaflight, because it's Betaflight OSD. And it's really easy. You just go into Betaflight, enable OSD. It's already on here. Then you go to the OSD tab, and you can move around your battery voltage and your current and your timer. You can put RSSI up there if you want little bars, you can put those on there. So it's really easy to use and real nice. Carborough asked a question about the TyrnatS stock. And that's a good question. And here's a little dilemma. I'm a salesman. We got to sell things. You guys are customers. You guys got to buy things. With the new release of the QX7 for $115, I think they retail for, we're not going to stock the TyrnatS X9 Plus. I don't see a need for it, a market for it. I think the price, if you can buy a QX7 for $115, it's hard to see what more you're getting in an X9. If you guys have an idea of why you should buy an X9, I'd be real curious to hear it, because I haven't been able to figure one out. And something that's worth $100. So you've got a QX7 sells for, I think they're like 115, 120, somewhere around there. You've got the little Evolutions that sell for $100, $120, $130, whatever. I just don't see why someone would want to buy a big old chunky TyrnatS. Especially a lot of the guys that are newer getting into this don't know the market. I think the market's dying on TyrnatS. I know the Horus is not really that good for the US market. It's expensive. And a lot of guys that figure if you're going to pay that kind of money for a transmitter, you're going to buy a Spectrum or a JR one. So yeah, M9 gimbals, now that's a different story, but they're coming out with M7 gimbals for the QX7. However, the last time I talked to them, battery. Ooh, battery. So what's the deal on the battery? I'd like to know that. But the last time I talked to Free Sky, they're having trouble sourcing parts for the M9 gimbals. I don't know which part it is particularly, but I was told July, and it's a long time. So I'm not sure what will happen on that, but that was the last I've heard on them from that. I haven't had an order in for a bit though. We just got receivers in, those XM Plus receivers. Where are they? I love these little guys. This is my little like quick access thing. These are little XM Plus receivers. I don't know if you guys have tried these yet. Okay, they don't have telemetry, so that's right out the window. However, do you really need telemetry? For what we're doing, why do you need telemetry? What are you looking at? You're looking at your battery voltage. Well, I just said we're using this. It's got a Betaflight OSD. It shows your battery voltage, so that's a winner. I can these out, but it's got on channel 16 these little guys output your RSSI. These things are tiny, like smaller than a postage stamp. Let's see, as a comparison, oops, here's a I don't know, X4R, D4R. I think D4R. That's the size difference. But they on channel 16 they output your RSSI. So you go into Betaflight, you do set aux, max aux channels to I think 16 or 12 or whatever. You have to change that, and then you go to your RSI, select channel 16. Boom, you can see it right there on your screen. Then you go in your Betaflight OSD, select RSSI. Boom, it's up in the corner. That's all you got to do. Okay, Jeff, I'll have to look into the battery on that TyrnatS, but I don't. Is that really worth the $100? That's the big question there. But these little XM Plus receivers are really nice. They're just tiny. I mean, you can stick them on any ship, really. Little micros, and again, you don't get telemetry, but you already got telemetry on your screen. You know, I like the RSSI, so I know when my antenna's bad or something. There's an issue there. So with that, you can with the Betaflight OSD, you can put that right on your screen, and you're good to go. Oh, XM Plus would be perfect for the Baby Hawk. Now they don't come with any receivers, but I mean that's going to fit right in there underneath the camera and the tray very easily. I haven't seen any wiring harnesses on it yet though, so I don't know how easy, what you're going to have to do to set it up. I've seen a lot of videos on the Baby Hawk and real jealous that I love to play with one. Especially I got to go down to Miami for some training, and that would be just awesome to take that down there. I have my my little tiny whoop that I'll be taking down. My frame's all busted up because I took it to Memphis and tore up the hotel we were staying at there for a week. I tiny whooped the pants out of it. But they had some big lights that had big rings around them, and I tiny whooped the lights. I didn't put those videos up because, you know, can't have everything on the internet, right? Okay. Well, there's some good points on the X9D on why it's better. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, I don't know if we're going to get those in or not. It's one of those questions that we have to figure out. Probably won't be for a while. I want to get some QX7s in. I've got a lot of people asking for those. You know, a lot of people wanted those Evolutions as well, so we got a lot of those in because they're sold out now. That's a good thing about a product like that. You got to get it when you can, and they're sold out. Hopefully we'll have those at Toledo, and we'll have Toledo. Basically, it's going to be a nice diatone spread. We're going to have the Diatone Crusaders, GT2s, the TyrnatS, all the parts, the motors, speed controllers, cameras, the antennas, the flashbangs. You know, you got like the little ones I got on here, the 901s, and they've got some round ones. They don't have holes on the round ones. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a 5 light round one for the 5 volt. This is a SW626, I think. So this is the 5 volt programmable ones. On a motor, if you were to put it there, about the same diameter as your motor mounting screw mounts. So now Someone mentioned something about the new GemFan props. I think that was Jay Hubby. We will be getting those in on Thursday. Let me just check my tracking message here. Yeah, it looks like Thursday. We've got a couple samples coming in. I'm gonna send some up to Jay Hubby to try out. He's been running GemFan props for a long time, so hope to hear back from those. Basically, if you looked on the videos online, and I saw him when I was in Nuremberg, the Germany fair, it's a lot like the 50-51 racecraft kind of in a way, or actually more like the Cyclones, where they got, you know, it's a sharp little blade, and what they did is the tip goes down, which this the end tip, it's got like a little winglet that goes down, which is supposed to keep the tip up so it doesn't hit your speed controller. Also, it's tapered like this, and I heard the guy in the video that did the review on these GemFan fans he was close on why a propeller is shaped like this. You know, the heavy, it's the GemFan 50, there are 51, 52s, I think. It's got a much more higher angle of attack on the inside of the wing or the propeller, and then it tapers out and less angle of attack here. And the reason you do that is because this blade isn't traveling at the same speed across it. This part is moving slower than the tip at the end. So on an airplane, they put those little winglets on these tips so they don't go supersonic, which makes a lot of noise and it's not good. It's not why you do it on RC props. But so by having less angle of attack here, but going faster, it's supposed to even out the thrust on the propeller. So that will be pretty interesting to see those. We also got new GemFan motors coming in on Thursday. 2204, no, 2205, 2400 kV. I saw the video on that. They were like 1500 grams of thrust in that, waiting for a mini quad test bench to put that up. And then we also got in the new 2206, 2500 kV. 22, yeah, I believe that's right. So something like a little bit bigger motor for the GemFan ones. Still waiting for them to get released there. We got these at the Nuremberg fair. This is the GemFan, I don't know, what are these, 35 amps? I think 35 amp D-Shot 32-bit ESCs. They're called the Maverick. I'm probably going to put these on my Obsession because that one's not working right. But I really wanted to fly this, and I didn't want to take the time to learn how to set up digital speed controllers because you have to use the GemFan software. So I have to do some more research before I get those up on a ship. A little nervous about that. Let's see here. Okay. Let's see. Let me move this real quick and answer that. I had an LED question. How do you recommend wiring the LEDs? Now, I got a video on that, on how I did it on my Crusader. Let's see. I have a Crusader frame around here. Hold on a second. It's not here. All right. This is my Crusader 175 that I took apart. And this will work really well for this. So this is the back. So what I do is I put hot glue or put a little electrical tape back here because carbon fiber is conductive. So if you put these touching the carbon fiber, you can actually have it smoke, catching fire. I had it actually happen to me once. I was with my buddy down in Wrightsville Beach, and I crafted some weeds, and it started my lights caught on the carbon fire, and then the grass started catching fire. So that was my bad. But anyway, so a little insulator between the arm and the LED, and then I just hot glue it too, and then wire positive and negative. Now these are the 12-volt ones. They're supposed to run on 12 volts. I just run them off my PDB. So positive, negative, right to where my battery lead is. If you run them off 12-volt regulator, they'll last longer. But I haven't burned any of these out yet, and I mean I'm only running for like 2 minutes, so it doesn't matter too much. So I just have them wired right into the PDB with the wire in each one, and then I put a little liquid tape over it where the positive and negative are, so that if the grass gets in there or something conductive gets in there, it won't short out. And that's all I do. And then when they're on, I take a zip tie, 2 zip ties, and just zip tie over them because they get hot, so the hot glue will melt. So then I've got the zip ties to hold them on too. And this has worked really well. As you can see, I've got it on this ship like this. And I've got it on my TyrantS like that. And then I had it on my Tyrant 175. This was the 175 frame. I kind of cannibalized this one because what I did was these had the old 2480 kV motors on it. So I put the 2480 kV motors on my TyrantS with lighter 5040 props, and this thing screams. It's so fast. I've got a video I was flying with my friend RC Slater at our local flying field, and I was chasing him down the road, and I was full throttle full of that thing, and it had to be like 70 miles per hour. But I was hanging with this Krieger, but he still had a little more left in his Krieger. But he's running 2306 motors. So, Master RC, does that answer your question on how I wired it? I also got a video, I believe, under my how-to section on my YouTube channel. So this was the original board too. That's a V1 board. I got that all tore up, but so this is like parts. All right, let's see here. Do you know the weight? The weight on them, let's see. Oh, why am I? This cam's not working. There you go, now it's working. All right. The weight on the lights, well, the little round one, it's not even a gram. It didn't even register. So, okay, so those are 12 volt ones. Here's another strip of 12 volt, and I put a little connector on it. The other ones that they have, let me see if I got one open. These are, yeah, here's one. This is what I used to put on my ships too. These are the 5 volt ones. Now the 5 volt ones are programmable, so you can go to Betaflight and make cool little designs or flash for your modes, or strobe or Night Rider effect. And then this board has actually got a buzzer on it too. And these are called WS2812 lights. And the differences on the back, see that you've got ground, signal in, signal out, positive. I think there's another ground and another ground. So on these, you hook the ground and positive to your 5 volt on a PDB or your flight controller, and then on your flight controller where it's labeled LED, that goes in the in. And then if you daisy chain these, you go out to the next batch. So in and then out. And then what you would do is the first light that is closest to the wire going back to the flight controller is light number 1. And then in Betaflight, you can go through and reconfigure them. Also in Clean Flight, that option's also in Clean Flight. The gym fin motors. Yeah, I was trying to put those on my website last week, and I got hit with a botnet attack. So my webmaster was busy taking care of that. Let me. I've got some spec sheets here. Let me see if I can't find those for you. And when this is all done, I'll put that in my notes. Let's see here. I believe they're pretty. Do I have the weights on them? That's a good question. Pretty comparable, I think, to everything else. I thought they were very similar to the oomph motors, the 2305 ones, and then let's see here. Let me see if I can't pull that up. In process order. Let's see. Nope, that's not. Motors. Here we go. Let me see what we've got here. I'm downloading them. I got on my iPad, so I don't make my computer. All right. Is there a weight? No, I don't have weights on them yet. I'll get that Thursday and put them up there. They'll be $20. Actually, do I have them on my website? I don't think I do. $20. Here's the specs for them. So the 2205, 2450 kV. The test here, they've only got a 50-45 bullnose, so you have to take that in consideration, considering everything else is tested with 3-bladed. But it's pulling 1,100 grams on a 2-bladed prop, which I think that's probably pretty much on par with the red bottoms. It should be a little bit more because it's a 2450, so that's going to pull some more. But I'll get the specs up on the website on those with the weights as well. Oh, Luke. I see Luke's a very happy camper. He likes chicken. Chicken and baseball, looks like. We're going to put user in a timeout. That's pretty cool. I don't know what that means. That's cool. I can put people in timeout. It's great being in charge. Let's see. Oh, you did? Oh, great. Thanks, Phil. Yeah, they're pretty. I was at the Nuremberg Fair, and they're real shiny. They were supposed to go on the Obsession, but they didn't come in time. I thought that would look really cool because they're chrome on the top, and so you would really look shiny on it. And you know, shiny is good. So yeah, those will be up on the website. Probably they're supposed to be in Thursday, is what my tracking says. So they'll be up before then. If you want to get some, check them out. Just subscribe to the newsletter, and I'll shoot out a newsletter about the day before. That way, if you want to get them, you can before people, you know, get them. I know they're out there. I think they're going to be. They were really good. Like I said, if you look on YouTube, Gem Fan, let me see if I can find that. They've got a really good video on YouTube about that. Link book chat page as well. But yeah, I can't. They had a really good show at the Nuremberg Fair where they had this video showing, and it was showing that these things were pulling some wicked current, and yes, very shiny. I love shiny too. That's why I got the Obsession. Obsession for men, causing more divorces than no. So let's see, Unified Pro. Let's see, I'm trying to think, make sure I covered everything I wanted to tonight. That's kind of about it, man. If you guys got any more questions or things you'd like to see, the reason we've got the evolution is because people wanted those. You know, a lot of the stuff that we carry is because of what you guys want, and then I try to find it and get it to you at a reasonable price where we can ship it fast. I know, you know, sometimes we are a little bit more expensive than a Chinese stuff, but usually my shipping manager Don gets the stuff out the same day. Especially if, you know, you send him nice little thank you letters. He loves that. But we try, man. You know, we're a U.S.-based company. We try to help people. Ever since Christmas, when we first got the second batch of Crusader 2s in, I spent about 3 hours a day on tech support with people getting their quads up and going. I've got one person that I don't have flying right now, but that's over 150 ARFs that I've sold, and everyone is flying. As far as I know, there isn't anybody that's stuck right now. I've had people send them back, and I've replaced whole flight controllers for people. I spent 3 hours on the phone talking to a guy, and he just would not believe me. You had to set the channel map in beta flight, and I finally got him. So you can't. Okay, let's see. Let's just block. There you go. Sour gummies. I can bring. If you want me to bring sour gummies, I will bring sour gummies. I won't personally be there. I'll be actually in Miami for some training on something else, so I won't be able to make it. Don will be there. That's the guy that ships all your orders. So maybe you should bring him some sour gummies. He'll remember that. He also likes cheese and fine beer. But yeah, he'll be there. And Jason Willing, who is one of he runs Air Hobby, and he's done Toledo with us before. He's going to be there. By sour gummies, did you mean racecraft props? Because we'll have some of those there, not the two-bladed ones. I'm not jumping on that hype wagon. We already did two-bladed props. I hear they're good, but yeah, I can't do that. Well, I will be looking. Yeah, see, I got to make a commercial with the Dquad Obsession for men. I mean, and put it in those cheesy voices. I think I'm going to do it like the Matthew McConaughey movie where I'll be driving. I liked this before it was cool. You know, something like that. I don't know. Well, I might be in Wisconsin. I don't know. I'm taking a different job at my current job, so I get to go to some different places, and maybe I will be in Wisconsin. But Let's see. I don't really got much else. If you guys get any other questions, it's about about 5 or 6 minutes. Let's see. I know Jay Hubby was on here before. I don't know. He's one of our newer sponsored pilots. So we're trying to get a team up of some good people. Do I have a Maverick Pro? That guy, he's good. I don't know. No, I don't have a Maverick Pro. I've flown them. They're great, really fun toys. One of my friends just got one too. Really cool. Totally different atmosphere than flying a race quad. It does different things, but the different things it does are amazing. Now I don't get to Tennessee. I get to Huntsville. I've actually met anywhere on a TyrantS flight controller. Right now, the next batch of TyrantS's will be the D-Link V2, well V3. It will not have 3.3 volt regulator in it, and they put a little diode in there to fix some of the regulating problems that they've had. So that's the word on that. There may be a new flight controller in that in 2 batches, which would be the end of April, but we're still in the testing phase on that. So best race quad. Well, we kind of go back to, man, that's a really good question. The best race quad. That's a hard one, man. It's whatever you think's good, whatever you like. There's so many good ones out there, but get something that's a tank. Like here's an Emax 200 that I built. That's a tank. TyrantS is a good race quad. It's a tank. The camera's okay. Things that make a good ship. A good camera, I think, is important. And you know, HS11.7 is a good standard. Some of these CMOS cameras aren't very good, but they're okay. But yeah, there's so many good ones out there. Get something that you can get parts for, and something that you can, you know, support. Really good if you have a buddy to fly with that flies something similar. Or a lot of guys are selling their older race quads that fly good, and that's a good way to start more expensive. I haven't got. Okay, three good questions, man. Now you guys are. Okay, so good stuff. The Evo, no, I just got those in. I haven't had a chance to play with it. You know, it's very comfortable. I think the way these switches are here, I think I could get used to. It feels like my fingers lock on it, and it's like I have to figure out how to hold it. Plus, I'm a pincher, so I don't know the switches. I think this one, I don't know. I haven't got to play with it. It feels like an Xbox controller, the gimbals wise. Yeah. So I don't know if I'll get to, because these are probably going to Toledo if they're not sold by then. I don't know if I'll make that. I had another question about the ESCs, the diatone ESCs, and updating beta flight. No. There's some, I don't know technically what it is, but if you upgrade higher than 3.0.1 in beta flight and then open BL Heli suite, it causes something to corrupt in the BL Heli. So yeah, you're right, Jason. It's a hard one for pinchers. So on the speed controllers, I don't know. I think they're working on figuring out what's going on, but I haven't talked to them. I actually was talking to Diatone just before this started on something else. So I'll talk to them probably tomorrow night, and maybe I'll post something up on the 2dogrc webpage about that. But Diatone's been really good, man. They've heard all your comments. I talked to Carl or June or whoever, same guy, says Eastern name and Chinese name, nightly, about what's coming next, what they're working on, how they're fixing it, what problems customers are having. They asked me, you know, hey, this is happening. Can you check this out? Like the TyrnatS, this was a pre-production version. I flew it a lot. I told them I don't like the camera. I've got an HS11.7 in there, as you can see there. All I had to do was cut the stand. You probably can't see because of the light. But I just trimmed that, and I just jammed it in there, and it fits. And that's pretty much that's full throttle going forward. That's all she's got. But they're trying to make some good stuff. That's a good question. Is a GT2 too much for a beginner? I would say no. I would say it's not too much quad for a beginner. However, you're going to break your camera. Well, I don't know. I think it would be actually pretty good. You're not really going to break your camera too much because you're not flying fast, so that's going to be good. And this is a really good point. A lot of people say, okay, I'm going to get a GT2, but I'm only going to buy 3S batteries, so it won't go as fast or won't be as powerful, because it is really powerful. I mean, those things go like 75 miles an hour. Don't do that. Buy a 4S battery, because that's what you're going to run, and then just prop down. The power that the motors produce has something to do with the battery, but your props are limiting, and they're a lot cheaper. If you spend $10 on props and go, oh man, I got this, I can go a little bit faster, you only have to spend $4, and you got like 4 bags of props or 2 bags of props, as opposed to now you got all these old 3S batteries that you're not going to use, and now you have to go buy $30-some batteries. So it would be a good beginner quad. Buy a 4S 1500, because that's what everything that I've shown you today runs in 4S 1500s, about 2.5 minutes, and prop down. So instead of using a 3-bladed 5-inch prop, run a 2-bladed 5-inch prop, and there you go. Run maybe a 50-30 instead of a 50-45, and those numbers 50-45. The 50 is the length of the blade, and the 45 is the pitch. So 45 means if it does 1 revolution, it'll go 4.5 inches forward. That's how you get that number. Now, race flight props are different. They use some kind of ratio thing. So 51-52 is not a 50.1 inch prop. They use a ratio, but it would be a good ship because it's so solid. If you saw my arm before, here's the 175. You're not breaking this. I mean, I probably couldn't break this if I tried. Maybe if I tried it. I haven't been working out, but still, this is very solid, and you're not going to break that. If you break a camera, they're like $30. You're probably not going to break the camera, but the lens, because of the way it sticks out. This piece, and those are about $8 on eBay. What I did is I buy the GoPro replacement lenses. Gives you a nice wide field of view, so not too expensive. Pre-orders for the TyrnatS will ship first part of April. That's correct. When we get, it's going to be the first week of April. They're probably going to come in right before we leave for our show. So we're going to we'll save all the pre-orders. So if you pre-order, you're going to get one. And then we're going to take the rest to our show. And that's just how that's going to work. So I've got a lot ordered, very, very lot. So hopefully that will last a little bit. Yeah, that's a really good part. When I first started, here, hold on, I'll show you my first quad. Okay, yes, this is that big. This is a Dual Sky Hornet 450, 450 millimeters across. It's been slightly modified, but that's what I started with, and I did exactly that. I went out to a baseball diamond, or actually the soccer complex. I put this at midfield, and then I went all the way to the other end and started to fly FPV. And I just try to not make it kill somebody. So yeah, big open area, and just try to basically don't move. Go in a straight line, or aim for like a path and just try to go straight. That's the best way to start learning. But yeah, this is what got me into this. Now this came with a very easy flight controller. Now I've got a NAS light, I think, on here. Looks like an X8R receiver. I might need to take that out. The other thing, don't buy a 600 milliwatt transmitter or a ship with one. If it's adjustable, that's good. But if you go fly with your buddies and you power up your 600 milliwatt transmitter, it's so noisy, and it's just going to wash everybody out. So 200 is really good. Oh, that was my obsession for men. Now at 2dogrc. So, you know, 200's a good transmitter. The adjustable ones are good, and that's why the Unify is good. Today we were testing the Unify event tracker, which is a timing system that's based off your video frequency on 25 milliwatts with 4 guys running. We had 5 at one time running all at the same time to see, 1, how the event tracker works, 2, is 25 enough for the area that we're flying in, and it was. So that's a good thing to, you know, let me get this link up here real quick. And here and here. So, and I'll have these links in the description below too, so, and some timestamps about what we talked about. But yeah, beginning FPV, go open, and you know, it's good to have an AMA membership. It's also good to go multi-GP, find a local chapter that you could stop in and talk to and get involved with, because all those guys started the same place you did, not knowing anything and going up. So it's really good to have a group of people to fly with. Plus, you can go try out like someone's TyrnatS or their, you know, I mean, I've flown 3 or 4 other people's ships before too. I flew a 1 race flight ship. I actually did. He's Josh Beef Supreme. He's one of our team pilots. Really fast guy, like hauling fast. So that was pretty cool. Motor gripper. Oh yeah, let me see if I can find that motor gripper. Hold on, guys. You know, I bought. They took them all from me. They bought them all. So let's see. Let's see if I can find this one. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look for that one. If I don't get it tonight, I won't get it tonight. I'll get it up on the Facebook page. And yeah, see. Let me see. Where was it? Where did it go? Here, man. Did you try this search? REAACC. Yeah, instructions didn't have a website with it. That's some free stuff. Awesome. I want free stuff too. Yeah, it's kind of getting worn now. It was better than cut. My hands are all cut up because those cyclones are sharp, and that was really cutting my hands up. I use this. So here's what I got this little drill. Okay, see this one, those are all normal. So you grip it and out. And there we go. There we go. And there's the nuts off. And then we just put it back on. You just hold the motor and switch the drill direction. And you go until it stops. And that's about it. Real easy. Oh, quantum. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I think I paid like 15 bucks for them. So, and they're small. Like there's the size of a battery, a 1500 milliamp battery. So they're really small and they fit in your kit bag real nice. I'm also, is AMA required for multi-GP races? Very good question. Yes and no. It all depends on where you go. Multi-GP as an organization does not require it. It's dependent on the chapter. One of the things multi-GP, they leave a lot up to the chapter. It's kind of like the United States. We got states' rights. We have the multi-GP has like group rights. You can do, it's up to the group. Some groups require it. If it's at an AMA field, you will need it to race there, to fly there. So I think if they raise it to 125 a year, I mean, it's 125 bucks, and you get insurance, and you get to go fly those places. So, holy cow. Wow, okay. All right, guys, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy these, and I'm going to stock them so you guys don't have to pay $75 shipping. And and we'll get those here. I don't know when, but soon. Okay, Johnny, GT2 7-graphene battery did a power punch out, and it either sucked so much juice it killed the receiver power, or the LVC that adjusted in beta flight. Okay, if you drew that much power that you kill receiver power, 5-volt regulator there, I don't know why it would do that. I think what maybe it went into is failsafe, and it reset, but yeah, it would be hard to kill the receiver power because that's only 5 volts. So I doubt you drop that battery down to below 5 volts, because if the battery is below 5 volts and it's going to a 5-volt regulator, it will be less than 5 volts. So maybe you had a, I don't know, it'd be interesting. What would be interesting to see is if you could log that next time. Do another, enable your black box logger at 1K, do a punch out. I'm sure it's probably not a good thing to have your receiver brack out, but it didn't beep. Okay, that's a good question. I don't know that one. Yeah, we all thought it was really that much money. That's a good question. I don't know that one. Why went that low? Okay, punch out battery. So the battery voltage drops, obviously. So the current, or maybe, you know what? It could be do more current than the board was good for. That would be a possibility, but I don't think so. I haven't heard that yet on that ship. See, this guy's it is required. So yeah, it depends where you fly. We were flying at a quarry, and we didn't have to have AMA there because it was just some dude's backyard. But when we fly at the our local RC club, we have to have it. So yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, well, DVR, that's a good thing. It's always good to have evidence. If it's not on video, it didn't happen. I got a good video going up. I'm editing it right now on the other screen here. We were flying at this motocross place. We're checking it out see if this would be a good place for us racing. And there's these dirt paths in the trees. And I had one battery left, and I'm like, man, I got to go hit one of those trails. And I took my Obsession back there, and oh yeah, I love flying those close proximity trails like that, but it'll be up shortly. But it was cool because I had the TBS Unify Pro. Like I said, we were testing 25 milliwatts to see if that would work, milliwatts. And all I had to do is pop into my OSD, go down the menus, change it to 200, and I went and hit the woods. So that was pretty cool. All right, guys, I'm about to wrap it up. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I really do. If you saw something you liked on this video, comment below or say thanks, or whatever. If you want to see other things, send me an email. I'm gonna try and do some more. I'm gonna be in Miami for some training, so I don't know when the next one will be, but sometime next month, and do some more stuff of maybe some questions, figure out what's going on with everybody, what's a new thing in RC, because it's a month, man. Beta flight will probably go through 4 versions by then. So I appreciate it. Also, if you guys did see anything you liked and you went to our website and bought it, put a little comment in there. Hey, love the YouTube video, and we'll throw in a free lanyard. And we got these kick-ass 2dogrc RC lanyards. See here, we got 2dogrc little lanyard. I will guarantee you they will not make you fly any better, but you'll look cooler. So you have that with a little Obsession for men, and it's really not going to do much, but it'll look cool anyway. So yeah, if you buy anything from watching this video, go ahead and put it in the notes that you saw the video on YouTube, and we'll throw one of these in for free. This won't be available after the edit, so it's just if you know it, you know it, but just try that. Yeah, the broken wire, that's a good one. Could be broken wire. Hey, appreciate it, guys. I really do. And hey, your questions and answers help me, because the more questions you guys give me, especially on setup and stuff, the better idea I have for making new videos. how to wire things up, like the lights. Whoever asked me about the lights earlier, I've had a lot of those questions, and that's why I made a video, a real simple way to wire them up. And I don't remember all the stuff that I had trouble with when I first started, so it's really good to get the feedback from you guys. Okay, how do I do that again? And especially for this omnibus board, it took me 2 days before I even soldered anything to it, because I had to do all the research on it and figure out, okay, what's a RAM pin? Where did that come from? So, but I do appreciate it, and we'll keep the videos coming. And you guys, you know, any suggestions you got, just keep them coming my way. I really appreciate it, and hope to see you out there flying someday. So again, thank you, everybody.